Good morning, boys and girls. We are on page 30, lesson 6. Make sure you are turning to the correct page number. So, for the first question we have here, it says for the following problems, draw a picture using the rectangular fraction model and write the answer. Simplify your answer if possible. So, it says here that I have 1 minus 5, 6. I have one whole. And I could change my one whole to 6 divided by 6 so that I would have the same common denominator. So originally I had 1 over 1 because 1 divided by 1 is still equal to 1 whole. And over here I am multiplying times 6 because my common denominator for 1 and 6 is going to be 6. So I would write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And notice that 6 are both multiples that I can use. So I multiplied 1 times 6 and 1 times 6, which is equal to 6 over 6. And remember, 6 divided by 6 is still equal to 1, so they're equivalent. The only difference is that I needed to find a common denominator in order to subtract. So 6 minus 5 is equal to 1, and 6 stays the same as my denominator. So my final answer is equal to 1, 6. Now over here on this side, I have 3 halves minus 5, 6. I am using my multiples of 2 and 6 to find out what the common denominator is. So I'm skip counting. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. For 6, I'm skip counting. 6, 12, 18, 24. I notice that 6 and 6 both appear as the least common denominator, so I am now multiplying times 3. 2 times 3 is equal to 6, and 3 times 3 is equal to 9. On this side, I can leave it alone because my denominator is already 6. So now I have 9, 6 minus 5, 6, and I can subtract. 9 minus 5 is equal to 4, and 6 stays the same. So my final answer is 4, 6. But look here, you can simplify, which is what they're asking you to do. Miss Tran, how do I simplify? What you're going to do is you're going to divide the top and bottom number by a number that can both be divided by both. Now, I know 1 can't divide by 4 and 6. That would just give me the same answer again. So I'm not going to use 1. So I am going to try 2. 4 divided by 2 is equal to 2, and 6 divided by 2 is equal to 3. So my answer is, my answer is 2/3. Now notice that both of these answers are equivalent to each other. So sometimes you might see the simplified answer, and sometimes you might see the answer where you just got 4 or 6. They want you to be aware of equivalent fractions. And remember, equivalent fractions are equal to each other. So now we're going to move on to problem C. For problem C, I have 3 and 7 as my denominator. I need to make sure that I am looking for my least common denominator. So I'm skip counting. So I have 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. And for 7s, I have 7, 21, 28. So I'm looking here, which one is my common denominator? I'm looking, and I notice that it is 21. They both appear, and it is the least common denominator. There's no other number before 21 that matches with the 7s. So I have 4/3 minus 5/7. To get 21 as my denominator, I need to multiply. So I am multiplying 3 times a number to get 21. 3 times 7 is equal to 21. What I do to the bottom, I must do to the top. And on the other side, I am doing the same thing. 7 times a number is equal to 21. 7 times 3 is equal to 21. 7 times 4 is equal to 28. 7 times 3 is equal to 21. 5 times 3 is equal to 15, and 7 times 3 is equal to 21. And now what I can do is I can subtract 28 minus 15. So I'm showing you here 28 minus 15. 8 minus 5 is equal to 3, and 2 minus 1 is equal to 1. So I have 13 21s. Okay, and that is my final answer because I can't divide this number any further than that. I can't divide it by 2, I can't divide it by 3, 4, 5. So 1321 stays the way it is. For problem D, I have 1 and 1/8 minus 3/5. Now this one is very interesting because what you're going to do is you are going to either separate 1 and 1/8 into 5/5 plus 1/8, or you can multiply it into an I'm sorry, my voice. You can multiply it into an improper fraction and then subtract. So it's up to you what you want to do. I'm going to show you first multiplying it into changing it back into an improper fraction. Okay, so I have 1 and 1/8. What you're going to do is you're going to multiply 8 times 1. That's why I wrote multiply. 8 times 1 is equal to 8. And then 8 plus 1 is equal to 9. So 9 is the number that goes on top. And the number that goes on the bottom is your 8. It's going to stay the same. The denominator does not change. So now I changed it back to an improper fraction. I get 9/8 minus 3/5. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the multiples for 8 and for 5. So right here, my multiples for 8 are 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, and 48. And my multiples for 5 is 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. So looking at the numbers, I noticed that for 5 and 8, the common multiple is going to be 40. So that means that I'm going to multiply my numbers to get 40. 8 times 5 is equal to 40. What I do to the bottom, I must do to the top. And 5 times 8 is equal to 40. What I do to the bottom, I must do to the top. And now I'm going to solve. 5 times 9 is equal to 45. 5 times 8 is equal to 40. 3 times 8 is equal to 24. And 5 times 8 again is equal to 40. Okay. Now I'm going to subtract. I have 45 minus 24. 5 minus 4 is 1, and 4 minus 2 is 21 over 40. So, and this is problem D. Okay, so I have 21 over 40, which is my final answer. So what I did here, 5 times 9 is 45, 5 times 8 is 40, 8, 9 eighths, 3 times 8 is 24, 5 times 8 is 40, 45 minus 40 is 45 minus 24 is 21/40. So that is my least common denominator or simplified form. I can't change that. So that's all there is to that one. And then I'm going to be turning the page to the next page. For the next page, I have problem E. For problem E, I have 1 2/5 minus 3/4. So what I'm going to do is I am going to multiply to change it back into an improper fraction. So 5 times 1 is equal to 5, plus 2 is 7, and my denominator is going to be 5. And I change 3/4 and leave it the way it is. So my multiples for 5 and 4. For 5, I have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. For 4, I have 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. And I notice that both of these are the common multiple, so I'm going to multiply that. 5 times 4 is equal to 20. What I do to the bottom, I must do to the top. 4 times 5 is also equal to 20. What I do to the bottom, I must do to the top. Now I'm going to multiply. 4 times 7 is 28. 4 times 5 is equal to 20. And then I have 3 times 5, which is equal to 15. And 4 times 5, which is equal to 20. And now I am going to subtract. I know that 8 minus 5 is equal to 3, and 2 minus 1 is equal to 1.